So there I was, standing in the rain waiting for my buddy Frank to show up with the $50 he'd borrowed from me. Now I ain't no bank, but Frank, he was a smooth talker. Had me convinced he was good for it. Boy, was I in for a wild ride. Now picture this, it's been 2 weeks since our little transaction, and I'm starting to think that maybe I've been had. Frank's become a ghost, a phantom, the Houdini of debt dodgers. I'm on a wild goose chase around town trying to pin down this elusive hombre. Every corner I turn, every dive bar I check, there's a tale of Frank just slipping out the back door. I'm telling you, this guy could give Casper a run for his money with the disappearing act. And the excuses, oh, the excuses, they started pouring in like raindrops in a thunderstorm. First, it was his dog ate the cash. Yeah, right, like Fido's got a taste for Benjamins. Then it was his grandma's birthday. I mean, come on, how many birthdays does this poor old lady have in a year? One day I bumped into him at the grocery store. He's got a cart full of high-end steaks and champagne, and I'm thinking, this guy's living large on my $50. But Frank, oh, cool and slick Frank, he brushes it off, says he's just hit a lucky streak at the bingo. Now I'm no fool, but there's a part of me that wanted to believe him. I wanted to believe that my hard-earned $50 wasn't swirling down the drain, but deep down, I knew the truth. I was just another victim in the perilous pursuit of payback. You'd think I'd learned my lesson, right? Nah, I couldn't resist another round of financial Russian roulette. Next up, my cousin Vinny, a master of the vanishing act. Now, Vinny, this guy, he's a real piece of work. You see, Vinny comes to me one day, his eyes as big as saucers, pleading for a little financial assistance. He's got this sob story about his car breaking down, his dog needing surgery, and his rent being overdue. Yeah, right. But being the soft-hearted fella I am, I dig into my pocket and hand over a few greenbacks. Now, here's where the magic happens. Vinny, like a magician, disappears. Poof, just like that. Calls go unanswered, texts, they're met with radio silence, emails, well, they might as well have been sent to the North Pole for all the good they did. I start getting these cryptic messages from his mom, my Aunt Rita. You know, the usual stuff. Vinny's not feeling well. Vinny's out of town. Vinny's been abducted by aliens. Okay, I made that last one up, but you get my drift. But then, like clockwork, every couple of weeks I'd get a message. Hey, cuz, it'd start. Sorry I've been out of touch. You know how it is. I'll get you your money soon. Soon, apparently, is a relative term in Vinny's world. It's about as concrete as a politician's promise. Eventually, I corner him at Aunt Rita's annual Christmas party. Vinny, the man of the hour, tries to schmooze his way out of the situation. You know I'm good for it, he says, a glass of Aunt Rita's infamous eggnog in his hand. Just give me a little more time. Time, it seems, is something Vinny has in abundance. But here's the kicker. As I'm leaving the party, I see Vinny in the driveway, standing next to a shiny new car. A car that looks suspiciously like it was purchased with my hard-earned money. And that, my friends, was my introduction to the art of avoidance. Then there was Lisa, always full of promises that payday was just around the corner. Now, Lisa was the kind of person who could sell ice to an Eskimo. She had a way with words, spinning tales about her upcoming paycheck like she was about to hit the lottery. Now, I ain't no fool, but Lisa, she had that way about her, you know? She'd look you straight in the eye, tell you payday was coming, and you'd almost believe her, almost. 'Cause let's face it, we've all been there, right? Waiting on that payday that's always just out of reach. But Lisa, she turned it into an art form. She'd have you thinking she was about to come into a windfall any day now. And you'd sit there, counting the days till her payday, your payday. 'Cause let's be real, when you lend money, their payday becomes your payday, am I right? But here's the kicker, fellas. Lisa's payday, it was like a mirage in the desert. You see it, you feel it, you can almost touch it. But just when you think you're about to get your hands on it, it slips away, just out of reach. And you're left there thirsting for that payday that never comes. Let me tell you, waiting for Lisa's payday was like waiting for a New York subway during rush hour. You know it's coming. You can hear it in the distance. You can even see the light at the end of the tunnel. But just when you think it's about to arrive, it gets delayed. Again, and again, and again. And the worst part, every time you ask about it, Lisa's got a new story. Her boss is on vacation. There's a glitch in the payroll system. Her dog ate the paycheck. Yeah, you heard right. Her dog ate the paycheck. I'm still waiting for that payday, by the way. Have you ever met someone who borrows money and then acts like they're doing you a favor? Meet my neighbor, Joe. So there's Joe, right? A real piece of work. He's got the audacity to borrow a cool grand from me, then struts around like he's the one who's done me a solid. He's got this swagger, a smug little grin that says, "Yeah, I'm your charity case, but you should be thanking me." Now, I don't know about you, but when I borrow something, be it a book, a tool, or a wad of cash, I'm grateful. I say my thank yous, I return it on time and in the same condition I got it, if not better. But Joe, he's got a different rule book. Imagine, if you will, lending your car to a friend. You're expecting it back, filled up, maybe even washed. Instead, they bring it back with an empty tank, a couple of new scratches, and a stale smell of fast food. That's Joe. Only replace the car with a stack of greenbacks. It's not just the lack of appreciation, it's the audacity. Joe's got this way of twisting things around. Suddenly, you're the bad guy for wanting your own money back, like you're Scrooge McDuck, diving into a pool of gold coins while poor old Joe is out here struggling. And the cherry on top? He's flashing new kicks, hitting up fancy restaurants, living it up on your dime. Meanwhile, you're counting pennies, wondering if you'll ever see that grand again. It's a wild ride, folks, a real trip. You're left shaking your head, wondering how you got sucked into this black hole of ungratefulness. You're smarter than this, better than this. But there you are, a victim of your own generosity. In the end, you learn your lesson. You tighten your belt, you close your wallet. You realize that not everyone shares your values of gratitude and integrity. And Joe? Well, he learns a lesson too. That was the last time Joe saw a penny from me. So after all those adventures in the land of lost money, what's the takeaway here? Well, let's break it down, shall we? We've been through the perilous pursuit of payback, where you're playing detective, tracking down your own hard-earned cash like it's a missing person. That ain't a job for the faint-hearted, let me tell you. Then we've had a masterclass in the art of avoidance. You've seen all the tricks in the book, from the classic ghosting to the ingenious "I'm just about to send it to you" line. It's like trying to catch smoke with your bare hands. We've also taken a trip to the mythical land of payday promises. That's a place where your money is always just around the corner, but somehow it never quite makes it back to your wallet. And let's not forget our encounter with the ungrateful debtor, the one who not only takes your money, but also has the audacity to act like it was their divine right to do so. The nerve of some people, I tell you. So what's the moral of this tale, you may ask? It's simple. No matter how much you trust someone, no matter how close you think you are, never lend money to anyone who hasn't proven their gratefulness and integrity. Your bank account ain't no charity, and you ain't no millionaire philanthropist. Think about it. If they needed a loan, they should have gone to a bank. If they couldn't get a bank loan, well, there's probably a reason for that, isn't there? And remember, the moment you lend money to a friend, they become a debtor. And a debtor is just a fancy word for someone who now owes you something. So protect your money, protect your sanity, and most importantly, protect your relationships. Remember, folks, you're not a bank. If you enjoyed this video, hit that like button and don't forget to subscribe for more tales from the trenches. Check out other videos on the page and see how I survived other financial blunders.